Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I realized that I said I was going to be back with you guys and then I wasn't, so without getting into too much detail, things with my grandmother got a little bit worse before they got better, and I just couldn't find a good balance with finishing my final exams and being there for my family. So unfortunately, YouTube did have to go a little bit on the backside for me. I'm happy to say that things are stable, not perfect, but stable. So as promised, I wanted to make a video for you guys following up with my iPad and how I used it for my second semester of nursing school. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks of how to succeed for your second semester, those going into second semester of nursing school, what I recommend. I do want to talk about how I organize myself. And for my following video, I will talk about the courses that I'm taking and how I am getting prepared for that. So without further ado, let's get this video started. You guys always ask me, I get questions from you, how I use my iPad. It's been a few months since I purchased it and it has completely changed the game for me. I know that the last time I talked about my iPad, I talked about NOTABILITY, I talked about having my textbooks on there, and it has blown up my mind. Like, it's really accessible. It definitely helps me with having my study guides handy, and instead of taking a giant computer everywhere or 3 different notebooks, it's really handy to just take my iPad for my classes. And I really like going paperless. That's another huge push for me, was not having to hassle around and having to buy ample amount of notebooks, and this was just really convenient. So now that I have used NOTABILITY for quite some time, I wanted to give you guys a better review of it. Yes. So I'm going to show you, as you guys probably remember if you are a watcher of my YouTube channel, or if you're new here, last semester, I'm in nursing school, if that wasn't, I always forget to reintroduce myself for my new viewers. I am in nursing school, so a lot of my videos are based on that, so there you go. This is how I organized myself for last semester, and I'm continuing the same organization pattern for my iPad because I successfully did very well on all 3 of my courses last semester. We had health assessment, we had nursing foundations, and pathophysiology. Both 3 very different and challenging courses. With NOTABILITY, you are able to save documents and PowerPoint presentations and textbooks. So as you guys can see, I have my things organized in this way. I have here my, I have here my health assessment, my foundations, and my patho. So to save space, I did remove the folders that I had, but I will show you guys how I created them now with my new semester classes. But what I did was I have all my lectures and my class notes, and I would organize my lectures because I'm saving space for the semester. I deleted that, but I would organize my lectures according to exam. So for example, if we go down here to Pharm, which is what I'm taking now, you see here my first tab is exam 1 class notes. So these are so far the PowerPoints that we have gone over in class, and this is how I will be organizing myself for the entire semester. I will be saving all of my lectures and notes into the file of exam 1. Once I take exam 1, I will create an exam 2 folder and continue on with the trend. I find that this way of organizing your notes is very helpful and it's a good method, especially when it comes down to finals. So finals, when it came down for my final exams, because of the way that I organized my notes the entire semester on my iPad, it was really easy to go back because all my finals were cumulative. So it was really easy to take a step back and look at the subjects that I was weak on and look at how I was able to improve myself and practice and review the material instead of having to go through notebooks and saying, oh, but what was exam 1, what was exam 2, I don't remember. So I would write down my scores for every exam, and my weakest exam, I would go back and I would review the content that was in that exam because I had all of my notes organized by exam. That's how I did it last semester for all 3 classes, and that is how I will do it this semester. Another method that I used that really helped me study and really concrete the material. So when you're studying for foundations and when you're studying for pathophysiology, they are completely different types of studying, completely different types of material, and completely different types of test questions. For pathophysiology, what we would do is we would create what you would call a concept map. So typically I would have, for pathophysiology, I would have the name of the illness or disease on the top listed with the pathophysiological changes, the signs and symptoms, how the disease is caused, the different comorbidities that come along with the disease, treatment, diagnosis, etc., etc. So in addition, just for pathophysiology, in addition to having all of my notes organized per exam, I had 4 exams in total with the final. So 4 exams, not 3, well, 4 exams total. And so what I did was every time, go all the way from the get-go from exam 1, I would create these concept maps. So all of the concept maps for all the diseases that I learned for exam 1 were in one binder. All of the diseases for exam 2 were in another binder. So in a total, I had 4 binders by the time I was getting ready to study for the final. And again, really easy to go back and refresh. And by creating these concept maps before every exam, you are reviewing and you are studying, even if you're copying down the material. And it's really, really helpful. I find that that was a really, really effective way to pass and do well. Given you guys know that I had some difficulties, some personal issues, so to be able to do as well as I did and balance all of this, the biggest thing that helped me was keeping my notes organized. So that's with patho. Now foundations is a completely different monster. Foundations, nursing foundations, is a very, very difficult course, only because this is the course that is going to introduce you to NCLEX style questions. This is the course that is going to entail a lot of critical thinking in order to pass and do well. What I recommend is I would definitely, again, organize all of your notes by exam. And the biggest thing for foundations, unlike patho, it's not making concept maps or things like that. You definitely need to know the knowledge base of the material. So for example, you'll learn what types of foods are what for different types of diets according to the condition of the patient. That's something you're just gonna have to learn. So it's easier to memorize the topics and foundations, but where it gets difficult is the critical thinking questions. And how do you prepare for critical thinking questions, you're gonna ask me, because you can study material till you're blue in the face, but they're gonna ask you a question on your exam, and if you don't know how to answer it, you may know all the different types of diets, and you may know what type of IV solution this patient gets, but if you can't critically think your answer, you're not gonna get it right. So the best way I did to study for foundations was practice questions. I like to think of foundations just like math. It's not how much you memorize the question, it's how many different types of ways and methods you practice the same type of question. So this is the textbook that was required for my school for foundations. It's pretty thick. Yeah, look at all my tabs. So what I would do is I would glance over the material along with my lecture PowerPoint slides. I would only listen to me because I'm going to confess, my hair's in my face and this is a serious topic, I did not read this entire book, okay? And you shouldn't either. Unless you are a very fast reader, unless you are in a nursing program that the only class you are taking is foundations, you will not have time to read this book. What I would do is I would skim whatever I did not understand from my PowerPoint presentations. Those are the topics that I would read about. And then at the end of every chapter, we had practice questions. I would do all of the practice questions. Then I would review why I got them wrong, why I got them right. And I did purchase additional material to study for foundations, fundamentals, success. This book literally just has critical thinking practice test questions. This one I purchased through Chegg. It's Nursing Fundamentals Pearson Review. And this book was my favorite. This is the book that I would pull up while I was in the car, while I was, unfortunately, last semester waiting in the hospital, while wherever I was, if I was at a family thing and I had a test, but my presence just demanded, I would sit there on the couch and I would do practice questions. Sometimes I'd involve my family members, I'd kind of make it a little thing, and that helped me a lot. I purchased the Prep U, and you can see here on my iPad, this is the point profile. So I purchased Prep U for my Nursing Foundations textbook. I have here also the stuff that I have for my other courses. If you only purchase Prep U and you have your textbook, that is a great base. That is probably all you need. That's my biggest recommendation. What I liked about the point was that each question, you get to a certain skill level and each question increases in difficulty. And like I said, it links directly with your textbook. An essential way for me to pass foundations. If I can get through it, you guys can get through it. And then lastly, I had health assessment. Health assessment was the easiest class ever, and I'm actually really upset because I finished the class with an 89.9, but was given a B. Let me know. Very proud. At that class, I'm still a little sensitive. It's a sensitive topic for me, but it was definitely a really easy class. We had, again, I organized with my iPad my notes and my lecture slides per exam, and then I would review like that with health assessment. I did have the textbook on my iPad. I also did practice questions for health assessment online, but I got that for, like, you know, the code sometimes when you purchase the brand new textbook, they'll give you like a code. I think the website was called Evolve, and you can just do practice questions with the code that is given to you from the book. So that's kind of like how I studied for health assessment. Health assessment was a little more memorizing. And then we had our head to toe assessment, like the physical head to toe assessment. And how I practiced that was my group of friends and I, we just got together and we did head to toe and we timed ourselves, and it was fun, and I'm so happy it's over. And that's health assessment. Health assessment is kind of like the easiest class. It's kind of like the class where you can breathe. What I liked about it was health assessment and pathophysiology really went hand in hand. So that was really helpful. Whenever I was studying for patho, I was indirectly studying for health assessment, and it was just a much easier class to breeze on by. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, if you want advice for your nursing program, please send me messages. I really love helping you guys. I love when you guys reach out to me. It warms my heart. It reminds me of why I made this channel. And no matter how difficult my life may get and how I just want to sit in bed and watch 8 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, I have a little family of YouTubers that are waiting to hear from me, and you guys motivate me, and I love you guys, and thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm posting videos. I'm not gonna say when. I did set myself a calendar, but I am posting videos at least once a week, trying to shoot for 2. I'm a mess right now, guys, but you guys still love me. I can see that in the comments and in the views. I see it. So I'm here and I'm not going anywhere, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.